Well, Carlos, welcome to the cast.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Happy
glad
to
to
be
have
here,
you.
man.
Coming up on 10 years with Safe Haven now.
10 years in July.
Awesome.
It has been a wild ride. It's been a fun ride. It's been an awesome ride
Heck
for
yeah.
my family. So
Heck yeah. So
Yes,
I
sir.
know a little bit about your background, but for the viewership,
Yep.
talk to us a little bit about your background. I know you were a kind of a Chiefs player at one point in time. So
Yep. I played college ball at Northern Iowa. Got done with that. Had a workout with the Chiefs. Didn't make the team. It's a revolving door. And then played a couple years of football in the CFL. So got done with that. I was working at a tree farm. I tore my ACL, MCL, PCL, meniscus. Was just trying to find a job until my next football call. Got a call from Tony at Safe Haven. No idea what it was. I remember to this day texting my wife. She was at work. She worked in Kansas. Like, hey, can you look up this company? I got an interview with them, and so came in, and I have been here ever since. I always tell people this is my first real job, and I have not left. And I'll be here as long as they'll have me.
I remember when you started. I think you've held just about every role at this company, starting as a sales rep, an assistant, a manager, a regional, and now as one of the corporate trainers, specifically helping out with our manager and training program.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Awesome.
sir. I've been all over the nation, like you said, held every position, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. So, yes, sir.
Yeah, I know you mentioned to me the other day going in the old Kansas City training room and Izzy and all those good days with the Garmin, and
Yep.
quite a bit of a transformation from about a decade ago.
For sure. Even my wife and I, we had came back, gosh, it was probably a year ago. Just drove by the building. Safe Haven wasn't open, but I told her, I said, man, that's just how much the company has grown. Half the building we didn't even have when I started, and we were in this small hot box over there.
Yep.
It was always super hot in there. No
Always,
AC in
yep.
there, but we had so much fun.
I think that's because Juan was in there all the time.
Yeah, for sure. But Juan was a culture setter, man. That's
Yes,
kind of
he
what kept
was.
everybody coming back every
No
day.
doubt.
No, it was hot
100%.
because Izzy was in there jamming his metal music
That is true.
That too.
and
That too.
microwaving his salmon and tuna.
Yep.
So, Carlos, you started in the 520 building.
Yep.
And then that was before the expansion. We knocked out the walls and moved over to this side of the building.
Yes, sir. Started over there. Like I told Zuppke, just the double doors. Just remember going in those double doors every single day. Being too loud, always having somebody come over say, "Hey, man, you guys got to turn the music down. You guys got to stop having so much fun." But that's what kept us coming back. So.
Yeah, because you guys had the ping pong table in the middle of the room. And
Yeah,
it
we had
got
a ping pong
wild.
table.
And
It was supposed to be a training table, but it ended up just being a full-time ping pong table.
And at times, I remember it became a dance table.
A dance table, yeah. Keep that in between us. But yeah, had a dance table, getting up on it.
So, Carlos, I'm curious. So, this is your first quote unquote real job. Obviously, you were playing professional there for a minute, and that was pretty much your real job. But
Yep.
you went from high school, collegiate career. It wasn't just football, though. You also did track, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Was that collegiate as well?
Yes, sir. I was a two-time All-American in track and field and a two-time All-American in football in
Okay.
college.
So obviously competitive, record setter. How does that translate from going to the discipline, being competitive in sports, to the success you found here at Safe Haven and just sales in general?
That is a great question. I was doing a ride-along with Stanley last night, and I told him I honestly think that's why I've never left the job. I've been playing football since I was 6, and that's all sales is it's just sports. You're going to eat what you kill. You get out what you put in. I struggled my first 2 weeks on the job, but I took the training that I had. Like I said, I've been training since I was 6 to play football, and I tried to incorporate that here. So even while I was struggling, I was in the office every day. Franny will tell you, I was the first one in. I was the last one to leave. I was constantly practicing pitching. I give this same story to all of my new hires I've ever trained, any managers I've ever talked to. My wife knew the pitch, and it was because every day I went home, I was telling her, like, hey, I'm going to go outside we were in an apartment in Lenexa. I said, I'm going to go outside the door. I'm going to knock. You don't know me. Tell me what I'm doing weird. Tell me how I look weird. And I was practicing. And then for whatever reason, after the 2-week span, it was like something clicked. So.
And then do you think that's because of sports? Practice makes perfect. So you practice what you do on the court or on the track or in the field.
Yep.
It was that the mentality of I can't quit because I need to continue to practice until I perfect this, or I just refuse to quit because I need to make this work?
I had to make it work. With my family being in a situation that we were in, like I said, I just come off an injury on the football field. Pretty much knew, like, man, the career's probably over, which was hard for me because, like I said, I've been playing football since I was 6. And I just knew it really didn't matter, like, what job had come to call. I was going to make sure I tried to make that work by exhausting every measure that I could. And so, yes, I took everything that I knew from training-wise and just tried to incorporate it in what I was doing here. So.
And do you think that's kind of the mentality in everything you do of, hey, I'm going to go out there, be the best? Like, for example, I know I've played sports with you a handful of times. And I have that mentality of, I have that confidence. I walk on the court. I'm going to be the best. Unfortunately, you did beat me in basketball. I'll give you that. But I am still faster than you. So I know we have that.
This calls for a foot race.
Yeah.
I beat you in a foot race, too.
Don't recall.
I would pull a hamstring, so I'm pretty much
Beat
out.
you, I beat Franny.
Lies.
You claim you'll pull a hamstring. But that confidence we're talking about right now, that competitive nature, I know it's instilled in all of us at some level when we talk about sales. And then I'm assuming it carries forward even to that management side of things, too, of that competitive. And now with you being in more of a corporate trainer role and helping with MIT, is that the mindset that you hope to instill in other people as they come through, or is it something you can even identify if they have it or not?
I would love to instill it in other people. And I honestly, Brandon, I would love to take credit for it. But what I knew was this when I started with the company, and this goes to the success that I've had with the company. I had researched the company. My wife had looked it up. She's seen how long the company had been around. So for me, it wasn't so much of like, hey, I need to take this in here and I got to be the hardest worker. I always had that mentality, but I knew because of the longevity of the company, you guys' system works. So I knew, hey, if you just apply yourself, and I had never had a sales job, clearly, wasn't really comfortable talking to people, but I knew like, hey, because of the longevity of the company, if I just keep practicing the systems, something will click. Right. You just have to put the time in.
Lois, I was going to ask that question. I know you're a systematic guy and not having any real background in sales and not necessarily even being charismatic, certainly not the word because you are, but just super outgoing, in those outside settings. Coming in and having a system and a process to follow, especially with your background, what do you see as the benefit of having that coming in without having the sales background?
I don't even think, honestly, Zuppke, I don't think you can explain like how important that is. It's the same reason why you see the Chiefs' success that you see with them, the Patriots' success. You'll often see players leave like, man, everything was so strict, but it's because, hey, this is what works. This is what wins.
Do you think the Chiefs went off the systems last year?
I think the Chiefs went off the rails last year, but it's stuff that happens, man. Like when it comes to the Chiefs, it's just you can't dominate every year. It's the same with sales. Like, man, I went out, didn't write anything Monday, doubled on Tuesday. Sometimes things will happen, but you got to understand, like, hey, even when the system and process didn't work for you that day, it still works.
And that confident mindset, you came in on a Tuesday, and of course, we're all going to roast you for not selling on Monday.
Sure.
And you looked at me, you're like, I'm going out and I'm tripling tomorrow, right? And coming back with that vengeance and that strong mentality.
Yes, sir. And like I said, it's just I've also been doing this long enough to have seen the drawbacks with it, to have seen hard days, to have seen hard weeks, hard months, and being able to say, like, you know what? I know that this stuff still works, and I know that I can still do this. Like, let's get this thing right.
Yeah.
So I'm curious with that because you talk about the Chiefs, and obviously you look at, Andy Reid, and probably one of the most successful coaches of all time. You look at Patrick Mahomes; he's going to go down in the Hall of Fame as one of the most successful
greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah, maybe even the greatest. He's got some work to do on Tom Brady, and I'm a Patrick Mahomes fan, so I'm not putting him down. But you got these guys that are incredible, and obviously they had a terrible season last year. They didn't do great compared to their previous seasons. But they have the playbooks that they know that work. They have the leadership. They got the systems, the processes, and obviously the back offices that are making things happen. So when you look at those guys, like the Travis Kelce's and the Mahomes and all that, there's never a day that they question, can we do this? Are we still great? Are we able to go out there and make it happen? That's that confidence. That's that mentality that they carry forward. When you look at people come through the door, whether it's a brand new rep, a manager coming through MIT, someone that's off the streets or internal promotion, Do you feel like you can teach them that competitive nature just like you could teach someone at that high level that competitive nature, or they either have it at this point or they don't?
Man, when it comes to teaching them, just to be completely honest with you, B. Reed, I think that's something that you're going to have. You're going to have it, but what we can do is we can teach you our systems and our processes and what hard work does get you. Because everybody's not going to be even. But I can always teach somebody, like, hey, here's how you can go and make a living doing this. And whether you have the hard work or you don't, you either adapt to it or you don't. But you'll have some reps that are better. You'll have some reps that aren't as good. But I can always teach you how to go make some money.
So I think that's the X factor there, because I agree with you. I think you either have it at this stage of your life or you don't.
Yep.
And it's the same thing with work ethic. You either know how to work hard or you don't at this point.
For sure.
And I think that's one of the issues when we talk about direct sales as a whole, the industry. Today's generation's a little too quick to quit.
Yep.
They want to throw in the towel. They want that instant gratification. They want to see the success without putting in the work.
For sure.
And then they just bounce from job to job until they figure out, okay, well, I'll just land here because it's easy enough or it clicks well enough.
Yep.
But I agree. I don't know if you can teach that competitive nature. I think it's either something that's instilled at a young age or they figure out throughout the hardships of growing up through the teenage years. Like, I'll use my son as an example. He has soccer practice tonight.
Okay.
He does not want to be in soccer at all. And I said to him this morning, I said, hey, bud, you excited to go to practice? He's like, nope. I'm like, well, you might get lucky. It was raining pretty hard last night. He's like, I hope so.
Yep.
He has zero desire. Now, I don't know if at 8 you can determine if they're going to be competitive or not. But I do think there's somewhere at that stage of even a younger age of learning to go to practice, being part of a team, putting in the work ethic to see the results. As you know, my oldest daughter, she started at a young age, probably probably around 8 at competitive basketball, and she just finished her last season. Just watched her play her last game while we were in New Orleans over the phone. Did I?
Yeah.
I mean, it was emotional.
Okay.
It was tough because I was in New Orleans, so I didn't get to watch it. But I mean, I was literally jumping up and down when I saw her hit a couple threes. But yeah, so it's one of those things that I watched her carry forward, and I know that she'll continue to have that throughout the remainder of her life. At 8, I don't know if my son's going to have that yet or not, but I do know being around me, he'll probably pick it up along the way.
This is what I'll say. And Zuppke, we were talking to this probably last week, I believe. The job itself is a lifestyle fit, and it goes along with sports as well. I often, whenever I was trying to hire somebody, I'd look across the table and I'd ask myself, hey, do I see this person here in a month from now? Because if you can give me a month, I can show you how to make some money. But like we were saying, hey, it's a lifestyle fit. Yep. This has to be something that you are passionate about. It's the same with your son when it comes to soccer. He might not be passionate about that, but I'm sure he's passionate about something else.
Right.
And it's the same thing I talk to my reps about, same thing I talk to MITs about that are going to hire. Like, hey, people have to be passionate about this job because there will be hard days. And like you said, this generation is very quick to quit things. But if you can find somebody that's passionate about the job, it makes it a heck of a lot easier for them to adapt to it. And it makes it a heck of a lot easier for you to teach them how to do it.
Well put, Los. And I think, our job in leadership is to find what really motivates people and drives people and then bring out that competitive nature. I mean, my gosh, we're listening to Preston talk about it this morning, talking about, I want to see some shit talking in this thread. I want you guys pushing each other. If somebody gets 1, go and put 2 and say, I'm better than you, right?
Yep.
And to get that push and that drive and that motivation and that competitive nature. So
for sure. And that's what, like I said, when I started here in Kansas City, that was the big thing. We had myself. We had a guy named Otis Horn. We had Felipe, Juan.
Becker.
Yeah, Becker. Yep. And it was always the same thing. Somebody go out, write 2. Somebody else get 3. We go in the next day. Man, you only got 2. Well, man, you suck. That's it. And that's kind of how it went. So.
And that's the thing I love seeing, too, because I know how competitive that team was. I literally tell the story. I walked by the office. I popped in one day, and you guys were competing who could tie your shoe faster. And that's how competitive a team that you guys had.
There was everything. Ping pong in there. Got heated a couple of times. Couple paddles thrown. But yeah, it's
couple doors to the face.
Couple doors to the. I wasn't gonna say it. I didn't know if you wanted me to, but a couple doors to the face. But we took that same mindset to the field, and it wasn't just like, hey, I want to beat Becker. It was also, I'm not going to let this customer beat me. Like, I know you're interested in getting the monitoring system. We can do this dance, but I'm going to make sure I win.
And that's one thing I love about the sales industry, especially if you are a fan of sports, any sports really. there's a lot of sports that's individual and it's competitive, but there's a lot of sports that are teams and it's competitive. And that's one of the things I've always loved about the sales industry is those daily meetings where it's the rah-rahs and it's a little bit of that trash talk where it's a locker room setting. You're talking a little shit, but you know you're on the same team. And when someone's down, they're motivating you. Come on, man, go get one more. For sure. I saw last night on the thread, who's got that late night fight? Go get one more.
For sure.
And
Absolutely.
so even though you're out there on your own, you're still part of a team and everyone's still lifting you up and it's getting those competitive juices going.
And I think that speaks to the importance of having daily meetings because, like you said, it's kind of an individual sport within a team. Like, hey, when you go out to the doors, you're on your own out there. You got to compete with yourself. Your best month is 11. Let's go hit 12. Best month's 12. Let's go hit 15. But I've got to have that team feel, and that's why you got to have those team meetings every day so people know, like, hey, I'm not just out here on my own. I also need to carry my weight to make sure we are in top tier, elite tier. So
Well put, Carlos.